The next selector we have is the class selector. Class selector simultaneously targets different HTML elements. Okay, a class selector allows you to simultaneously target different HTML elements regardless of their position in the document tree. If a series of HTML elements have been labeled with the same class attribute value, then you can target them for the styling by using a class selector, which takes the form of a period symbol dot followed by the class name. Okay, so the class selectors are the one which will help us to simultaneously style different HTML elements irrespective of their position in the document. Okay, so we'll see an example, it will be more clear. Here you have an example of a class selector. They have made use of a head element, then you have a title, then you have here style element. And how to make use of a class selector is, first you should have a class value here, and it is usually belongs with a dot, and then you have here first, you can name it anything here. Okay, so this is a class attribute, and here you have to specify font style. Here you can specify the properties. They have you specified is font style is italic, color is brown, and then they have closed the style element. So what will happen is, this particular attribute which is there, you can use it anywhere in the program for any HTML elements. Okay, so after the style element is closed, they have closed the head element, then you have the body element. In the body element you have the h1 element, and you have to make use of the attribute class, and for this class you have to give this value which you had specified in the style element. Which value is that? First. Okay, then when whatever you write after that will be getting this particular style. Okay, next you have the div element. In the div element you have p element, and for the first p element you have specified class attribute, and the value again is first. Okay, so this also design or the styling will be applied only for this line. Then you have another p element, then the div element closes. Okay, then you have the hr element which creates a horizontal line. The next div element is there also for one p element you have used the class attribute. So this class element, the class attribute is there, it can be used on any HTML element irrespective of their position in the document. The hierarchy can be anything. Okay, so you have to specify what styling and all you want to use in this particular styling here, and only thing to identify is the class selector is the dot symbol followed by the value name, class value name. So let us try this program. Okay, first you write doc type HTML. Okay, next we'll also write HTML, and then I'll use the head element and then the style element. Okay, in this we'll use the class value dot first. Okay, inside this you write all the styling properties. I'll write it as font style bold semicolon. Okay, color I'll give it as brown. Okay, color is brown, and then enter. Close the flower brace parenthesis, then close the style element, then close the head element. Okay, next we'll start with the body element. In body element what we'll do is we'll use one heading h1. Okay, I'll write description. Okay, h1, then I'll make use of a p element. Now I'll use everything normal here. I'll not use this class attribute first. P element I'll use it reviews. Okay, close the p element. No, after the heading we'll make use of a division element. Okay, then one more p element, introduction to web. Okay, then we'll close this div element, and we'll use one horizontal rule. Okay, after this we'll make use of one more div element. In this also we'll use two paragraphs p. Here I'll write it as conclusion slash p. What shall we write here? css slash p. Okay, so this also will close with an hr, and then we'll close the body element and the HTML element. So here what I've done is I have not used any styling. The class attribute I've still not used it. Okay, previously, first we'll see how they'll get displayed. Okay, Control S, 3.html. Okay, 3.html. Double click. This is how it looks. Description, reviews, introduction to web, conclusion, and CSS. Okay, next what you can do is for this particular p, or for the heading also, you can use the class attribute is equals to make use of the value first. Okay, class value will make you use of first. This should be the same name as this which you have previously declared. Okay, for this you can use. Next I'll use for one of the p element, class is equals to, so I can use for any of the elements simultaneously. Okay, and I'll use for this another p element, class. Okay, class is equals to first. Okay, so this was somewhat the same example which we had. Okay, and this hr thing which is there, this should not be used like this. You can use it like this. Okay, next Control S. Okay, now you can see here, this is the heading, this is the paragraph, this is, I'm not applied anything on this, this is the paragraph, and this is the thing. Okay, so this is how you can make use of the style attribute, font style bold and color brown. This is known as the class selector. Okay, this is known as a class selector. If you want to use this class selector, first see that you have a class name preceded by a dot operator, dot symbol, then that value you have to use along with the class attribute everywhere. Okay, so this is when you want to style different HTML elements simultaneously, then you can make use of this class selector.